Happy New Year, everyone, from the Garnet and Old Show. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. I'm Ryan Big Papa East, alongside my co-host, my friend, and Vince, my fellow FSU brethren, Mr.
Hey,
Vince Ciccarelli.
VC Nole here. Follow me on X if you're not already. What a day today. Today was a good day, Ryan. We're going to talk a lot about it. Before we do that, though, we are going to, of course, talk about our sponsors. Ryan, you do any fishing over the holiday?
No, but if I had, I would have gone to Panama City Beach, and Captain Black's fishing would definitely have taken me out on the sea, and he is sponsoring our studio. So I just realized my studio is crooked. My camera is slightly sitting off center, but that's not too big of a deal. But yeah,
N-
Captain Black, if you want charter fishing in the Panama City Beach area, there's no greater than Captain Black.
That's for sure. And if you're looking for a place to hang out while you're in Tally, whenever you're in Tally, whether it's during the season, during the off season, in the summer, you name it, the Palace is the place to go. The Palace Saloon is a tradition in Tallahassee. I went there a lot, Ryan, when I was a student. I don't know how much you were there, but I was there enough to maybe be called a regular. So I'm no longer a regular. I'm kind of irregular, but
Well,
there you go.
neck slacks.
That's for sure. But the Palace, go check them out. And when you do, let them know Garnet and Old sent you.
Vince, we have so much FSU news to talk about, but just to start the show, I think later on in the show we need to have a conversation about letting some teams in that just clearly are not capable of performing on the field, that should not even be on the field. Like, teams like Alabama, we shouldn't even be considering them for the playoff because they don't even belong.
It's funny that you bring that up because I literally, before I stepped in here, before I hopped in the cockpit here, Ryan, I tweeted out Bama taking a whooping to bookend the season, 2 whoopings to bookend the season. And they were against teams that were not in the Southeast Conference, which apparently, it just means more, Ryan. It's a gauntlet
from the season.
It's a gauntlet, Ryan.
Yep.
That conference is a gauntlet, and it's tough to get through that conference, but it's not tough for the likes of a really, really abysmal Florida State team to take Alabama to the woodshed. I mean, to the woodshed to start out the season, and then for Indiana, and even up until like a few hours before the game, there's all kind of people on X talking about how Indiana's about to find out. No, man, Indiana ain't finding nothing out. Alabama is who we thought they were and is who they have been for the last several years. They have gotten 2 gifts to go into the playoffs, which they did not deserve.
What's incredible, every time they pan over to Siggs, the face he has on the serious.
Yeah.
Just stare. He looks like a man possessed. Like, did he sell his soul? Just give me that title at Indiana. Just give it to, because I mean, they are playing. I'd be a little worried if I was Oregon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oregon didn't look great today, and I actually give Texas Tech a lot of credit for their defense. Their defense played really well.
They played great. Yeah, and they eventually, the offense put the defense in way too many, difficult situations that they just could not keep doing it. So that was strictly on the on that side of the ball. So
it's a toughie getting blank though in the playoffs.
It is a toughie. I mean, even the Noles that were starting, 4th and 5th string and walk-ons on the Orange Bowl scored 3 points. Right. So there is that. But hey, by the way, those of you that are joining us here on a New Year's Day, Happy New Year, first of all. And also, send out, grab this link, send it out, like and subscribe, do all the things you do as social media folks that you all are. Help us get the word out here about the show. I'm pumped, Ryan. I am pumped. We've been in such a slump. We've been in such a Florida State slump for weeks and weeks and weeks, Ryan. Today, finally, was some good news today. It was a good
Yeah,
day.
let's start first with the first bit of news that we got before all this stuff today, which is Papuchis. He is gone. The it's over. It's the nightmare is over. Papuchis is gone. He can't hurt us anymore, Vince. He can't hurt us out there coaching special teams or linebackers. Which, if you ask me, are our two worst positions over the last couple of years. So
Yeah,
he's gone. Thank goodness.
Ryan, do you know? I think you know this. I was really holding off on doing my booster renewal, and I'm wearing my hat today because once I got word that Papuchis was going to be taking it to another house, I decided, okay, that's my sign. I'm going to renew. I really was debating, Ryan. This was not just some kind of play. I was really
Yep.
considering whether to do it or not. I pulled the trigger on it yesterday, late yesterday. And so, yeah, your man is back in. Who knows if we will get lot 12? I'm not too confident we're going to get lot 12. But hey, Ryan, I don't know if I talked to you about this yet, but if we do not happen to get lot 12 next year, I got something brewing here to do a permanent tailgate spot at the Palace.
Yeah, that would be great. We would be lot Palace. And I would love if we could get a permanent Garnet and Old fixture set
Exactly.
up.
Yeah,
And really start getting people locked into the show. Because I hate to, for all the times we've invited, Lot 12's great. We understand people have their own tailgates going on. But if we were to do our tailgates every week in the parking lot of the Palace, we would have people in the show.
Absolutely would. And it would be crazy. You know, a number of years ago, Ryan, you had an idea of doing kind of a jaywalking skit, right? And imagine doing that from the Palace. Now, there was a time on lot 12 where someone was brandishing a weapon or two. So I don't want to get too involved with that story. So there were some crazy times in lot 12, but I think the Palace Saloon would provide a lot of revelry, as it were,
and
bathrooms and just good people, right? So more to come on that. I love lot 12. I don't want to give up lot 12, but if for some reason they keep pushing us out further and further and further, we've been working on a possible solution to have a permanent tailgate spot at the Palace.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the booster thing because I'll probably be renewing in the next 2 weeks because the wife said, "Hey, you are renewed," and then I was like, "No," and I'm hesitating, and I was giving her all this a couple of days ago. I'm giving her all the reasons. She's like, "You're an idiot. Just renew.
Yeah.
What are you doing?" And I was like, and she's like, "All that stuff is a temporary thing. You know, you're gonna want to do it. Just do it." And I'm like, "Yeah." The wife always has some sense to talk.
Of course. Yeah. So it was kind of the same way with us here. You know, you're thinking about, you're so frustrated, like right now, you're not happy with the way things are going. And not that I'm giving, tons and tons of money, but we do give as we can. And, it was kind of like I refuse to do it, but eventually that season's going to roll around, Ryan, and you're going to kind of wish you were there. So,
yeah.
And then they basically said, Papuchis, we've about had enough. And so that was kind of my sign. So, hey, if you're looking to support the show, you can super chat us here. And that will absolutely make sure that your comment gets read on air. We will pull it up on the screen and we will read it. And if you pose a question to us, we will spend a good time on answering the question. So if you want to support the show, that's how Ryan and I continue to support the show. We have a monthly goal of $100, basically. And so that's not a lot. We know who butters the bread here. So if you're looking to support the show, that's a way that you can do that. You can also Venmo us, Garnet and Old.
Speaking of the chat, let's shout out some people. So Breeze Fry, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Breeze. It's good to see you.
Breeze.
CJ, always, who looks like he's changed up some of his username. CJ got some momentum now, boys. Landon
Mm.
coming back up, which is huge too. We'll get to that in a second. Daniel Gorby, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you,
Happy New Year,
Mr.
Daniel.
Gorby. Suzanne Bijord, the Signetti show, the Signetti scowl. Yeah, the serious scowl. I love it. And then we
Hey,
have
Ryan. Ryan, I think Suzanne may have been the first person to ever Venmo us.
today.
No, she was the first
Oh,
person ever, I believe, if my memory serves. So thank you, Suzanne.
and then of course Champs 998, who said, "Been saying all along FSU would be fine." I think in the long run, like I don't think any of
Yeah,
us were saying we're never going to be
sure.
anything again. It was just we had so many bad news one after the other that honestly, I actually like felt like fist pump worthy when Papuchis news came out. I was like, there we go. Can we not see the squirt guns out there anymore? Do you think he took them with him?
Oh man, I don't know. I hope the Super Soakers isn't
Yeah.
that the brand? Yeah,
Yep.
the Super Soakers. I hope he packed them in the suitcase to take with him. And no harm, no foul. I don't wish ill will on the man. Like I'm sure he's an upstanding guy, and I'm sure he's a good family man. Takes care of his family and everything like that. But we need to do some winning. We need to do some winning around here, Ryan. And did you see also? This show is not going to be about like negative stuff about the program. There's been enough of that. But you did see the punter decided to enter his name in the portal, and I'm not sure why, but maybe it's because he was Papuchis's that was his guy, right? Possibly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it's a bold move to go in the portal as a punter. I think. Listen, every team needs punters. However,
Hey,
every team
isn't he the
has a punter.
starting punter? Isn't he the starting punter?
Sure, but when I'm talking about punters, is it's not like a starting right guard where it's like, man, you gotta hope that you get that one guy, from high school that's just like your future. I'm
He's gonna
pretty sure.
put you over the top.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a punter is a dime a dozen. So it could just be a relationship thing, and maybe he'll just be like, "Hey guys, I'm not looking for a ton of money here. I just want to go somewhere else, fresh start." And hey, more power to him if he wants to do that. That's fine with me. But let's talk some of the good news. Let's continue on with the.
Yeah.
I almost said Keon Coleman, but basically, so I've been saying all year. How many times did I text you this year, Vince, saying Deuce is incredible? What a waste on this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I texted you like 4 or 5 times, like, great play, what a catch. It sucks that it's in the middle of this horrible season that we can't win any games because I kept saying because he's gone next year, and everyone I think safely assumed NFL draft ready to go because my man looks like an NFL receiver, had numbers to back up getting drafted,
Yeah.
and he looked like he was ready to go. And so you're just doing the math. You're like, well, why? What would be the reason, right?
Yeah. There's
Apparently,
two
because
things.
he bleeds Garnet and gold.
There's no doubt about it, Ryan.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it that he bleeds garnet and gold, and I do believe, hey, with all the way the way the college game is now, where no one is like devoted to anything except themselves and the money. There are always a handful of people that are different than that, and I do think Deuce is like that for sure.
Legacy.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think if he would have gotten a first round grade,
Yeah,
he probably would have left
and should have.
and should have, right? But there was enough that happened this year where
Double cat.
exactly, where it probably dropped him a bit, and because of that, the powers that be could find out a way to put a package together to make it lucrative for him to stay. So it kind of was the best of both worlds there.
Yeah. And I'm sure his dad was thrilled.
Hey, and let's call this out real quick here. CJ, we cannot go cheap on a QB. FSU needs to land a proven stud. This offense can be really high powered with a QB who can make the throws. And I want to talk about that right now because one of the reasons that I think another reason for the Duce thing, and possibly why we saw Landon Thomas probably
So
going
we're
to
about
come
to get a
back,
quarterback tomorrow.
I think we are about to find out. I think there has been something in the works, even though it's not allowed yet.
Yeah.
I think they have. I think they have a good idea who that quarterback is going
I
to
think it's
be.
the UNLV quarterback.
It could be. I'm just saying, whatever it is, I think the plan is there, and I think the plan that is there is good enough, is intriguing enough, is positive enough to make Duce want to come back, to make Landon Thomas want to come back.
Yeah, the answer for Landon and for Deuce was so who's going to be the quarterback? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be like, yeah, sure. And it seems too good to be true that both of them are like, yeah, I'm staying on the day before the portal opens when we're clearly going after get a quarterback. Now I'm on the record saying I think Sperry, we should have just rolled with Sperry and gotten a equal to or lesser than quarterback than Sperry just to compete with them.
Yep, for sure.
But if I'm Mike Norvell, that's what I would do, Ryan. If Ryan Eastman would do. If I'm Mike Norvell, my job's on the line, and I know, God knows, my job has to be on the line this year. That
You would think.
I don't know that I could take that risk. And if there's a guy, and Vince, I think we're in agreement that that guy, what's his name from UNLV, I like what I see. I like the numbers. I like the body. More importantly, I like it's not Tommy Castellanos size, not fun size out there. And I like that he can throw the ball. That's nice, right? So yes, and he's got a little bit of giddy up and go. So yes, I think both of them have assurances that who the quarterback is going to be coming in, and if I'm the quarterback and I see them both say they're coming back, I'm saying, well, I want to go play with that NFL receiver.
Yeah, think of all the opportunities this past season that were missed because Tommy basically is ultimately extremely limited from the arm standpoint.
Are you talking about he has to jump and fall backwards on every throw? Is that what you're talking
Well,
about?
I just
Because
there's a difference. There's probably a 2-game difference,
I would say
probably at a
three.
minimum, maybe 3.
I'm going to go three, and I'll tell you which ones. I would say
Okay.
the Virginia game,
Yep.
right? I would say Pitt,
Yep.
and I would also say what was the second to last one?
Oh, good Lord. I threw my schedule away after that season was over.
The man, I don't remember. There was a third game where it was again we're in the game, we just can't hit the
NC
broadside of the
State.
barn. Yeah, where the guys were open. Replay, you see the replay, and Tommy's just doing the jump throw.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm saying is, as good as Tommy was with the feet, well, on the feet part of it, at least until he got hurt, he was equally as bad from the arm standpoint. And that to me, that's like I said, probably a two game swing. You say 3. You could
You know
could
what's
be right.
incredible about it though, Vince, is that Tommy, uh, it wasn't worse or better than who he is. It was exactly his numbers
Yes.
from every
Yes.
season in college. Like he's the exact same guy. Like he didn't regress at Florida State, but he took 0 steps forward.
Yeah.
There's some
That is
games where you're like,
absolutely
man,
true.
if you're playing against that guy, you hate it because he's how do you get out of the pocket and run for that first down? And you're like, God, dog. Like, but then the next game, you're like, how did Boston College lose by 30?
Right. Yeah. And by the way, Boston College with Tommy beat Florida State, but that's no big feat, these days. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm saying, and I think you agree with me, and I think some people in the chat here do too. Is I think that these guys that were, thinking that they were going to go in the portal, if the money is close enough to being right, and they have a positive outlook on who's going to be directing the offense. I think that is that is a reason to come back, and I think that they have a good idea who that's going to be. So good. I mean, another positive thing. Today was a good day. Finally, after many days that were anti-good.
Yeah, at least Calanger is 6 feet tall. And I just want to bring up, guys, again, um, no hate against. Listen, I think Tommy did exactly what Tommy could do. I don't think he. I think he put his heart and soul into the team. I mean, he's so much so that despite the terrible season, he wanted to come back desperately.
Yep.
If you were to take Tommy's stats this year, Tommy was 2,700 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Calandria at UNLV was 3,400 yards, 23 and 9. So you're talking about almost 10 more touchdowns and about 1,000 more yards passing. That's all you need to know about like what you would get out of a difference of someone who could throw the ball.
Yeah. So that the question's going to remain then is like who it's going to be. Probably Calandria. Probably. I mean, that's what everybody's been saying. But really, they've got to spend. They're not going to spend. They're not going to get the highest paid, the highest priced quarterback that's out there. They're just not going to do that.
You have too many positions that you have to fill.
They're just not going to do that. And I don't think the highest priced quarterback out there is going to necessarily want to come to Florida State, even if the money was right, because of the system. I just think that's true. So that money, Ryan, all that money has got to go toward O-line and D-line. That's where that money has to go. Enough with the nonsense. Enough. Okay, Gavin Sawchuk in the portal. I don't care. Okay?
Well, that's
Cam
why
Davis,
I was frustrated.
I don't care about that. Use that money on linemen.
Well, that's why I was actually a little frustrated this evening because what was it? What's his name? Roadrunner or whatever the hell, that one running back in the portal from NC State. What's his name?
I don't remember.
So I saw today from 247 that Hollywood Smothers, which is
Hollywood Smother. Yeah.
He will be a priority for Florida State and be, I think, here tomorrow. So it's odd because I feel like you have Chroma and you're like, what the hell did you spend that money for? If you're going to go out and bring in, and listen, the guy had 1,000 yards rushing almost. And he was at 980 or something like that. So I get it. And maybe the coaches say, listen, despite us spending what we did on Chroma, we don't think he's perfect for whatever we don't know what the coaches think.
Who knows? But the running back rotation was a complete mystery anyway.
But we have so many running backs. We have so many. We had a lot of tight ends. We still have a good amount. That I'm just like, guys, if you just told me if tomorrow you announced the only players we acquired in the portal are offensive, defensive line, and linebacker, I would applaud. I would stand up. And I would say, thank God. Now, I'm hoping, Vince, there was a few guys that announced it there was one or two, I think, that announced they were in the portal from that Nebraska team still that have connections to Tony White.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that. I like the word that we're hosting tomorrow, an offensive lineman who's 359 pounds and 6'7". I like that a lot. Get more of those guys because we couldn't get pressure to save our lives, and we need someone to protect this quarterback if we want the whole Duce and whoever the new quarterback is going to be to work. I was frustrated to see Boggs announce his intentions because I actually thought he was quite good. And then I got my feelings hurt again today, Vince.
Why is that?
Watching that game earlier, and God, every 5 seconds.
I was about to bring it up. I said to Shannon, Ryan, every 5 seconds, I have to hear the name Malik Benson over
and how incredible he is,
and over and over again.
And keep in mind, it's not like Oregon thought he was going to be a superstar. He was like fourth string at the beginning of the year. He wasn't playing a ton, and then when they put him in, he was just dynamite. And today, I'm watching him make the catches that he's making. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yep. So Jabril Rawls is going to come back too. So another reason why today is a good day. Again, I think that these guys put their intentions out there. They don't. We said this, right? And everybody says this. It's like, just because someone announces that they're going to look to go into the portal doesn't mean they're going to be leaving, right?
Right.
This is a tactic.
Negotiations.
This is negotiations. And also, some of the guys that put their name out as intentionally in the portal were told to do that, right? So, but because of all of the downtroddenness that we've been feeling for a long, long time, it just constantly, was almost like additional gas on a burn pit, right? Like burns all the grass like around your burn pit, Ryan, which you know a lot about. So Jabril Rawls going to be coming back. I'm hoping the Randy Pittman thing is the same way. Probably not, though, since we haven't heard about it yet. And I was hoping that Ashlyn Barker would be kind of the same thing. But again, the portal opens tomorrow. And so if we're not hearing people are staying before, midnight, probably the chances are they are going to be in the portal.
For all the people who, on all the shows that claimed, well, the hires we just made in the front office, unlikely to have an impact, I actually could disagree, because some of these players entered the portal and we heard rumors that it was because they weren't thrilled with the numbers we offered. And then these guys come into the front office who are now, as FSU has said, with their public releases today, in charge of talent acquisition and evaluation. It's possible that they came in and said, "What are you guys doing? These are your only good players. You need to pay these guys. Like, what is you doing?" And so I think that's where the new front office could have had an impact already.
Oh, for sure. I think that's absolutely true. And, it should have been earlier, but it's not ironic to me. It makes sense that they would announce it on the 1st, right? Even though we kind of all knew that Garrett was going to be the guy. Like, how many days ago was that, Ryan? I can't remember now, but hold on a second here. I'm trying to share a screen.
I didn't know what that was. That popped up.
Oh, so I wanted to pull this up, because this is kind of what we're getting to with the front office stuff. So this is how it's all going to work, apparently. I know there's not a lot of super specifics here, but under the new structure, Florida State football will operate with a clear division of responsibilities between on-field coaching and off-field football ops. The deputy AD GM of player personnel, which is Garrett, will lead all aspects of roster construction alongside the coach, including high school recruiting, portal acquisition, retention, scholarship allocation, and long-term personnel planning. So good, right? So now we have a little bit of clarity here on how this division is going to happen. You could say, well, yeah, that I already knew that, but it is interesting to see that it's saying alongside of.
Well,
right?
That's like saying, yeah, coach will be there too.
Right. Yeah, right. So, and, Garrett, we kind of went over his resume during the last show or 2 shows ago. He's been a lot of places. He's done a lot of good work. He did good work at Duke. He is a guy that spent a lot of time at the college level. So, the portal thing and everything. So, a lot of people were wondering why we didn't get a strictly like a pro guy, NFL guy. There's a benefit to not going that route, and that would be one of them. Like, he understands this whole portal thing. He understands the calendar. So yeah. So I think you're right, Ryan. Having these new guys in place, and we also got an announcement today about who was the other guy, Taylor. I can't remember his name now. Taylor something. Taylor Stevens, Taylor Edwards, who is going to be in the front office staff as well. So now that these guys are in place, now you're starting to see some moves happen. Maybe they were waiting to make sure these guys were actually signed on the dotted line, and then all these other things could go on.
All good news, Vince. I did see something funny. I want to. You know what? As bad as social media is and can be, sometimes it just makes you smile.
It's a little blurry, but I get the vibe. Yeah, this is Coach Hamilton. This is Darth Vader, right? Oh,
Yeah.
there it goes. It just came in. Exactly. That's exactly right. I love it.
The scowl on it, no matter what. It's like touchdown, Indiana. You look and he's like,
Happy New Year, scowl. Yeah,
it's so good. He's going to be the gift that's going to keep giving throughout the years.
Yeah, I hope so.
When it starts going downhill, inevitably at Indiana, those press conferences are going to be great.
Yeah, I hope they win it all, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for America, this year, Indiana is not annoying. However, next year, immediately after a national championship, they will become annoying. And then you'll be like, get these guys out of here.
That's exactly what happens.
Yep.
People, they win a title and they start feeling themselves a little bit. And it's like they're kind of out of nowhere, and then they become the most obnoxious fan base, and everybody's kind of tired of it. But
if there's any New Year's resolution, just something I want to ask you for, Vince, just to be in thoughts and prayers with me and my fellow people in the comments, is please don't let Miami win the national championship. Like, please.
Yeah,
Ohio State, you failed.
CJ's kind of saying that there. Can somebody please beat this Miami team already? Hey, they looked pretty good, man. And
Michael Irvin was high out of his mind.
Michael Irvin, somebody posted something on X about it's kind of like Michael Irvin's dealer is really happy right now. So, yeah, that guy, no. Oh boy, I'm not saying he's got a problem, but I'm not saying he doesn't have a problem.
Yeah. He doesn't think he has a problem, so that's all that matters.
Not at all. Yeah, I was not happy they won that game, even though, Ryan, we got a good buddy of ours, Raj, that is a Cane through and through, and he's suffered a lot. And so listen, if it ends up happening, the inevitable happens or the unthinkable happens, and Miami makes it happen, I'm going to be happy for my buddy Raj.
I'll tell you what, in no way do I want Miami to win any of these games, but I jumped out of my chair and clapped when that pick six. That was a nasty read on a screen pass. Like that's one where if you're a DB, you dream of reading and triggering downhill at a screen pass. And I love even the announcers went, no! Like everyone knew it. It was great.
Breeze, who is a member of Garnet and Nole, and you can become a member of Garnet and Nole as well by hitting the little membership button there. Become a member on YouTube. Breeze Fry, FSU fans will never root for Miami. And that is absolutely the truth. If you know an FSU fan that has rooted for them ever, you may have to surround yourself with other Nole fans. The only time that there's even a possibility of a inkling of maybe I want Miami to win this game is if they're playing Florida.
Exactly. I honestly, like, if I were to pick, like, order of operations on who's left in the playoffs, I would say in the only teams I would like to see, Indiana is definitely top for me. Ole Miss would be second, and Oregon would be third. In no way do I want Georgia or Miami to win a national championship again.
Nope. It's time to clean house.
Because even Oregon, it's like they've gotten so close. They've been good for decades and never gotten it.
I don't have a problem with them. I know a lot of people have bad feelings about them because of 2014 or whatever that was. Man,
that was us crapping on ourselves.
That was us crapping the bed, man.
Wasn't their fans or anything? Yeah.
No. Now, they some of their players did some really bad things about Jameis at the time, right? But what are you going
Everyone
to do
would
about
though.
that?
That's a
Everybody was
fan
doing
base.
that at the time. So
If we weren't FSU fans and we were playing against FSU, we would have done that.
yeah.
So, one thing I will say is that they have a cool stadium. I love every time I watch the Oregon games. I'm like, that's a pretty cool stadium.
Brian, I know you know this. I still to this day have not watched that game.
Oh yeah, I forgot because you were not available.
I
There was some family stuff going on.
Yeah, my dad was in hospice at the time. It was the very next day he passed, and I literally they had the game on. This is crazy. They had the game on in the hospice facility in like another room, like a communal room or whatever. And some people that were there were kind of in there watching the game, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going well though, and this is all stuff that I can talk about now. This is a long time ago, but I knew it wasn't going well at the time because my younger daughter, Gabby, wears it on her face, right? So she would come in from time to time out of that room, and she would look at me, and she would try to communicate things via her eye stare with me, right? That things were not going well with
That's
that
why it's
game.
so magical though that you got the year before.
Of course, and I will never watch that game. I will never watch that game. Didn't
You don't
happen.
need to because all I do when I watch that game is say, "God, dog, we had it." Like
Hmm.
you look at that score and you're like, "Oh my God, Florida State sucks," and then you go back and watch the game and you're like, "Dalvin Cook, my man, what we knew what he would become after if we had known." But that day, man, I was frustrated with that man. I was like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah. Put
What
the
are we?"
ball on the ground a lot. Put the ball on the ground a lot. So it wasn't meant to be. But what is meant to be, I think, Ryan, and I put this in the description for the show today. We're finally. I'm starting to feel a little bit of hope, Ryan. I'm starting to feel a little bit of optimism, and I knew it would come, but it had to. The only way it could come is if I started seeing some movement from the upper echelon of the program, right? So now we're starting to see that, like we start out the show. Papuchis is gone. We have a general manager in place that's credentialed and has a track record of success. We've got someone else in the front office that's come from a number of different places that have had success with putting a presentable roster together. Now, let's get that roster together. Lines, the trenches, we got to fix the trenches. We got to spend money on that. Norvell, I think you watched the show. So when I looked into the camera months ago and I said, Mike, we really want this to work out, but you got to fix the recruiting thing. It's got to be fixed. So now that it looks like some of that could possibly be changing, Coach Norvell, look at me. Look me in the eye. Spend the money on the line. Spend the money on the offensive line and the defensive line. I know we got to
No,
get a
you shouldn't be
quarterback.
saying Coach Norvell. You should be saying
Oh, correct. Oh,
Coach
John
Norvell's
Garrett.
fishing somewhere. Get it. They were probably like, "Get out of here, Norvell. You deserve it. You need some time.
You need some
Get
time
out of
off.
the building."
Let us handle this for a while. You need some time away.
He's like,
John
"Are you sure?"
Garrett.
And they're like, "No, yeah. We'll text you if anything goes down." And Mike's sitting on the beach. He gets a text. Duce is coming back. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Layden's coming back. Oh, cool. How do we do that? Don't worry about it.
John
Okay.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Take the money.
What I want Florida State's
Ingram
default
Smith.
answer.
Ingram Smith. Get the line straightened out. That is the only way this is going to happen. It's the only way. And another way it could happen is if you want to super chat us, we can make sure your comment gets on the air. Super chat us and help us get to our goal to $100.
What I want our default answer from our new front office staff to be is anytime we be like, "How'd you get that guy to come back or transfer?" You just say, "Don't worry about it."
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about how. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're here, and you'd be like, I'm doing the math, and it doesn't. It seems like we would be over what we. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just is what it is. There's
Yeah.
nothing. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Mike Norvell's like, do we get like really? Do they like not want a lot? Yeah, if that's what you need to think happened here.
Remember all those years? Like there was multiple years in a row where Clemson out of nowhere, this is before NIL,
Yep.
Clemson was able to get all these, 4 and 5 star guys to come back for their super senior season, like over and over and over again. Don't worry about that. It's the culture. They want to come back to play in the culture, right?
And
So
my favorite Clemson thing right now is it's not getting any better anytime soon for Clemson. When I saw their recruiting ranking this past year after the class was signed, what is it, like 23 or something like that? I'm
yeah,
like, oh, so you're not going in the portal and you're not
and
you're not recruiting anymore.
yeah,
So looks like the whole facade that Dabo built, that like we get the players that want to be here and everything. I think some of that facade has broken, and once it's apparent that you can't just. I mean, he was really good at keeping people around. I think that's was his
yeah,
specialty. And they
absolutely,
still don't have a ton of players enter the portal that are at Clemson. But if all you're getting are 3 and low 4-star players in bulk, retain all those guys, Dabo. By all means, keep them around because you're going to be 8-4 every year.
yeah. Yeah, I mean they had their run there before, the NIL and the expansion of the playoffs and all that, but his lack of wanting to go into the portal is going to cost him just as much as our willingness to go into the portal too much, right? So
Yep.
I see a new name here in the chat, Delicious Daily
Oh,
or Delicious Dally. I don't think I've seen that name before. Delicious Dally, welcome to the program.
it sounds
Um,
delicious.
it does sound delicious. And if you've already been here before, I apologize. It's tough to remember all the names, but we welcome you to the program. Suzanne Bajor, who's here a lot. Michael Irvin is an embarrassment, and I never root for the scum. SCUM, of course.
Suzanne Bijor definitely has the fanciest last name of anyone who follows Garnet. Bijor sounds like a fancy mustard, like a Grey Poupon.
Right. Pardon me, Monsieur. Would you happen to have any Suzanne Bajor?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
Like it sounds very fancy. It sounds like
And
a fine wine.
and if you are really young watching this show, you may not know the reference to that, but the joke is you used to be able to pull up to somebody at a stoplight, roll down your window, and ask them if they had any mustard. So,
Would you be surprised if I told you, Vince, last night it was one of those things where I was very tired. I didn't sleep well the night before. And so I knew midnight wasn't going to happen. Right? It was like,
you didn't make it.
and the older, I'll just be honest, the older I get, the less I care about staying up till midnight. I'm like, guys, it'll be the new year tomorrow. I don't need to see Ryan Seacrest half drunk on TV. Like it's not an important thing anymore. Now, if I'm feeling awake and it's yeah, sure, people are over or anything, but it was just me and Kristen at the house, and she really cares less if I go to bed or not. She's a night nurse, so she stays up like most nights while I'm asleep. So, but it was one of the things. I was sitting there at 7, and it's like it's New Year's Eve, so I'm like, usually you would have a drink or 2 or 3 or 5, but have you ever convinced yourself, Vince, just by strangely being congested, that I'm about to get sick? I feel it. I feel like I'm getting sick. So I shouldn't probably drink because that would make it much worse. And hopefully I'm okay. And then you wake up the next day, you're like, no, I'm fine. So what the hell was that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think part of it is, did you turn the heat on in your house?
No, well, I mean the heat's been kind of on for a couple of days,
Oh,
but I've never really had a problem with that. What I think it is, Vince, I'm bad with what my wife says I'm hypochondriac, and not in the way that you guys think where it's like germaphobe or anything like that, or thinking I'm always like whatever. If you have cancer, I'm have cancer. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if I see news reports or on TikTok or something that like flu A, which is right now like everywhere, like oh, it's everywhere. Like everyone's getting sick.
you feel a little sniffle. You automatically think that's what it is.
It gets in your crawl, and you're like, and then if the first time you have a slight congestion, which I've always had like kind of messed up, just nasal function, just uh, always taking antihistamines and stuff like that. But immediately your head goes to, well, it is flu season. I'm kind of due for it. And then it gets in your crawl even more, and you're like, you know what? Let me swallow like 3. Do I have sore throat?
Hmm.
Do I? I'm gonna take another swig. Maybe, maybe, and you start going down that path of like, I might be getting sick, and you convince yourself,
Nah,
and then it's
I'm
bullshit.
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of that.
You drink more.
Well, no, I'm the opposite of that. Where somebody will say, "Hey, you kind of sound like you're a little off." And like, no, I'm not sick at all. I don't get sick. Uh, I usually catch something once a year, and it's usually short-lived. But I'm in the opposite. If flu A is if I'm in a room this size with 20 people that have flu A, I'm not getting it. I'm just not getting it,
Now,
Ryan.
is that false bravado that you're putting out there, or do you truly believe?
No, I think my immune system for most of my life has been really, really good.
So that's not false BS and like everyone else around you just to like, no, I'm good. It's like you actually in your head be like, no, I'm not going to get sick. What are we
No,
doing?
because I rarely and knock on wood, I'm not going to jinx this, but you know, been many times in my life where the whole family's got something and I don't get it.
Well, you're
And
very lucky.
well, I know I am, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm not any more healthy or less healthy. I don't watch any more or less than most people do. I just think some people's immune systems are stronger than
Yeah.
others.
The problem with me is that once like, let's say, because sometimes you do know you're getting sick, like you're like, uh oh, like
Hmm.
you start coughing, and you're like, it's only going to get worse. You know, it's only going to get worse. I tend to like hyperfixate, like it's going to be bad. Like this fucking sucks. Like I don't want
Yeah,
to. Where my wife and I told her I've tried doing this. She'd be like, why don't you just like be like, whatever, it doesn't matter. If I'm sick, I'm sick. It is what it is. I'm like, because my brain is not functioning that way. My brain is going, this is going to be the worst. And I won't be able to sleep. I'm
that's
going to feel
terrible.
awful.
It's funny actually how opposite you are from me when it comes to that. Do you know the character Bad Luck Schleprock?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you need to look that up when you get a moment. Bad Luck Schleprock. It is a cartoon. I think he was a maybe from the Flintstones or something like that. But the whole concept around that was just, always a black cloud over the head, man. Like Eeyore kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and my wife will when she gets sick, because she does. She actually gets sick more often than me. Uh, she just would be like, she'll be like, "Yeah, I'm sick," and so I'm just like, "Yeah, it is what it is," and I'll be like, she won't talk about it. She won't be like bitch about it. I will bitch more than you've ever heard. Now that's the man flu thing. That's a common thing.
Yeah.
Like and science has proven that the man flu is worse. Um, but when I'm down, the whole world is gonna know. Vince, I'm gonna text you and be like, I'm down. I
I've
got,
gotten those texts,
yeah, it's not happening. I'm can't even get out of bed. I might not make it.
and I'd be like, Ryan, get out of bed. Like, you got a hangnail. Go do something. Now, when I am ill, what I tend to do is I will isolate. I mean, in a big way. Like, I will park myself in the guest room. I will shut the door, and it'll be like I'll be in a tomb for like a day or so. You won't hear from me, but then I'll come out bright and sunshine. So that's enough talk about that, though. Ron. Let's talk about.
Our next cruise next year, the Garnet Old cruise.
Okay, we can talk about that.
I think I think we push it to the month of January just because avoid people's holiday travels. But the general idea is everyone is that at some point, what Vince and I did last second together, we invite whoever in the podcast sphere, the FSU media scene, and fans to join us on we won't even call it the Garnet Old Cruise.
No, it'll just be a Seminole cruise, college
What?
football.
No, I would call it like we have to come up with a name for it, like Seminole Sailing or something like that.
Yep, yep.
Um, and whoever wants to go, we'll put the dates out there. It'll be a shorter cruise so that more people, can
We'll be able
go
to
and
do it.
afford it.
Yep.
And super super casual, hang out with a bunch of your Noles. I think it would be fun, Vince, if we did it when like playoffs are happening, just so there's some college football on or something like. So if it's bowl season, that would be cool because then, well, not on the ship we were just on, but most ships will have other
Mm.
channels than whatever it said on. You're never changing it.
Right,
That
right.
was unfortunate, but I think that would be fun. So, guys, if you would like to do that, let us know.
Yeah, we're
Tag
thinking
us or
about we're thinking about doing that. It'll be like a 4-day cruise, probably at the most, um, either out of Jacksonville or out of
about a
Port
year from now.
Canaveral, probably in January. This is just kind of a heads up with that, and just so you know, like this cruise we just went on, if you want to prepare from a financial standpoint, Ryan and I, we got that cruise for under $500, and
Including drinks.
including the drink package. So yeah, so that's something that we're possibly looking to do for next season. We will reach out to our fellow alternative media types and see if we get any takers with that. I know that Jeremy wanted to go, but we kind of pushed that on him at the last minute. I think he already had plans, but
Jeremy was gone somewhere. That's crazy.
yeah, exactly. He's always somewhere. So let's see. The basketball team won a game or two as well recently. They beat
And they lost.
They beat a really bad team, and then they beat, was it
They lost to North Carolina.
JU or USF, and then they just lost to North Carolina. But they it wasn't a blowout. I mean, they just don't have the players yet. They don't have the players yet, so it wasn't an embarrassing loss. Al Pasta 85. I see what you just posted there in the chat. We've kind of already gone over that, and I agree with you. Duce must know who the QB is. We kind of did a whole stint on that at the beginning of the show. I agree with you.
I do want to. Speaking of Duce, one funny story is: did you see Duce Spawn misspelled his own name in his announcement?
Well, he didn't write his announcement. Someone else wrote it for him.
Right, but they misspelled his name. That's unfortunate. Yeah. That's a toughie. The E before the U needed to be done, and that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's unfortunate.
And you can alleviate that problem by not having an E in there at all, like our buddy Duce Robinson.
Yeah, make it like a nickname too. Like you could also say, "Hey, just put like the number 2 or something like that."
Ryan, tell me about the Ryobi stuff you got going on behind you there.
Oh yeah, so usually I am actually really pissed right now. So those are the big boy batteries, like
those are the 40 volt. You've got the three bay charger there. I see it.
Normally all 3 would be filled, but Vince, one of the larger ones, it was outside maybe 4 days attached to like a blower. It didn't rain.
Mm-hmm.
Now it won't charge, nor does it show a charge on the device. I'm like, really? I've never had these things like really go bad. Now some of the batteries over time, of course, like any
over
other
time,
battery, but like this won't even, like when I plug it in, it doesn't even. It's like, no, there's nothing here. It's not.
Is it out of warranty?
Yeah, that one is. But thank God it's not my big one. So it was a 6 hour one. I got the big boy one, but right next to it, you can't see it, but right off screen, I have the 6 bay smaller one for the smaller batteries. And Ryobi is doing the Lord's work year after year. They have amazing products. I recommend it to Ryobi products.
They should be a sponsor. TikTok, they should be a sponsor.
Go on Ryobi's TikTok and then just or Reels. They have a product for anything you can possibly imagine.
So just so you know, Ryan, you can resurrect the battery problem. There's a YouTube video out there. I've done a few of those myself. You can resurrect it. Basically, the charge has gotten so low, and there's a computer chip in there that basically won't register it if it gets below a certain charge point. But you can jump it where it will show as being live. So anyway,
you're gonna have to tell me how to do that because
you don't want to lose it. They are expensive. LS Momo 55. Let's read through this one real quick. This is a long one. I don't think Duce knowing who the QB is has a factor on him coming back. Duce has had one good year, and even in that year, he had drops. I think he's coming back to try and get in. Yeah, I think all of it is related.
A little bit of everything.
I think it's related. I think it's all related. I think if he'd have gotten a first round draft um, prognosis, he would be gone. But he didn't, and he still loves the Noles and wants to. Apparently, the money is good enough for him to stay. Right.
Yeah.
So
My guess, though, guys, I hate to tell you, despite allegiances, if it was just about, hey, I need another year to prep myself to be a first rounder, if that's all it was, he would transfer out of Florida State.
yeah,
You
wouldn't
would go
you?
play for, yeah, exactly. You would go play for a big time school that's winning, Georgia or something like that.
That's got a quarterback thing that
Yeah.
you can that a quarterback can actually get you the ball.
So I think it's way more on the I have a connection with Florida State and I know who the quarterback is going to
And
be
I know
more
who the
than,
quarterback is going to be. Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
Because God knows if you are wanting a high performing football team, you would not say Florida State's going to be the one.
Um,
Um,
New Year's resolutions, Ryan. You got any? Do you do that?
I don't like to do that because I do things that like all throughout the year where I'm like, you know what, I want to get better about this. I'm going to work on this. So
Hmm.
I don't make it like a big part of my new year because I feel like it gives you an excuse to, do the opposite before the new year hits. Um,
Yeah.
but overall, in the last, I would say 2 to 3 years, I've made a concerted effort, both at work and with other people, to be more, give a little bit more grace to people, to be more understanding, and not let like small things blow out of proportion in my own head. And
Hmm.
much like the sickness thing, that's not just a how I get, with sickness. That's how I used to get about other things. Like, oh my gosh, like in my head, I said this, they react to that. Are they thinking like, I wonder if they're still pissed or, and I would kind of doom scroll in that, in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's amazing when you do start, um, at work or personally, start giving others more grace and encouraging them and all that. Um, you come to find out people really like it and they'll do the same for you. And so it's a win-win for everyone. So I would encourage everyone, if in those moments in which you feel like someone's pissed you off or screwed up or and you want to just go in on them. I know you want to. Maybe they deserve it. But instead, how about you just tamp it down like 20% and not go so hard?
Hey, listen. Uh, from your mouth to God's ears. Because if there is enough of, if there's just 10% of the population decides to give people a little more grace, what a different place we would all live in, right? So yeah, that's nice, man. That's really great. I hope whatever I can do to help you with that, let me know. Because one of the things that I want to try to do, or I've already been doing it, but I want to double down on it, is to try to be a little more present for people when they are in need of growth or coaching or trying to get to the next level, whatever that is, whether it's emotionally, um, whatever I can do to encourage people to become who they want to be. Uh,
Well, you like you did with the pirate on the ship.
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's was not my intention there. My intention was to stop the conversation completely. It
I
didn't.
mean,
It didn't
you blew
work.
his mind.
I did blow his mind. What else is going in the Florida State world, Ryan?
Oh man, you know what? Um, Maybe I should apply the grace scenario to Florida State football.
Yeah. Um,
Not to being okay with it, but saying, listen, at the end of the day, I love this thing that's Florida State and Florida State football, and half the things in my life, people and friends and family, happened and I know or interacted because of directly or indirectly Florida State. So in times in which the product on the field is disappointing, you lean on the other parts of Florida State and Florida State football that do
mm,
still make you happy. The people you know, the things you get to enjoy, the relationships you've had in the past, and future ones to come, and say, if we suck, I still get to see my buddy Vince at a game. If
I was going to say, we don't
yeah,
need to get all mushy about it, Ryan, but let's be honest, right? Ryan and I met how many years ago, Ryan?
2019.
2019. And Ryan showed up, new employee at the
Off the
place
street.
where I work. He actually showed up, and turns out he's a Nole.
And
And
not
I'm a
just like a
Nole.
casual Nole.
And I'm a Nole. And look what that translated into, right? So here's to more Seminole. Here's to more Garnet and Gold and Garnet and Old. Here's to more Garnet and Gold in your year. And understanding that regardless of how much we've been suffering lately as a fandom, I'd rather be in this fandom than any other. And it's been it changed it literally, being a Nole has changed my life for the better. Literally.
Think about it. You met your wife in Tallahassee.
Correct.
I met my wife in Tallahassee.
So how can I be mad at the Garnet and Gold? How can I be mad? Now, I can be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm
as
not
a
mad. I'm
dad.
disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. And if we're going to spend all this money, I can legitimately and with good conscience say it needs to be better. But you and I have never been the bashing type anyway.
No.
We've tried to come at it from a more logical, emotionally stable viewpoint. But it needs to get better. And today was a sign that I think that things are going at least ticking a little bit in a positive way. And we'll see what happens tomorrow when the portal opens. It's like ADANGBE, a Dangby, I guess, says the portal is going to be a bloodbath for everybody. It's going to be it for everybody.
Yeah.
Not just the Noles.
Last image of the night, Vince. I want to leave everyone with a funny one. There you go. Exposing Alabama football this season. Florida State and Indiana joining hands to prove Alabama's not nothing. They're not as big as they once were.
Hey, listen,
If Castellanos didn't do a single other thing, he stood on his word that Nick's not there to save them anymore.
They didn't deserve to be in the playoff. It's as simple as that. They did not deserve to be in the playoff.
Notre Dame would have done better against Indiana for sure than Alabama, 100%.
So here's another season where Alabama gets a gift, a complete gift, because of the brand and the league that they're in. And what we're seeing now is that the league isn't so great.
Yeah, the Big Ten has pretty much dominated the national championship the last couple years. And if Indiana keeps that train going, how is the SEC by and far the best conference in the world if they are having a hard time winning titles? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've never bought into it, but I'm buying into it even less these days because of that. We didn't hit the goal tonight. That's all right. We're going to keep trying. Every show, we're going to keep trying to hit the goal. We want to thank everybody that was in the chat tonight. We want to thank CJ for contributing to the show. Ryan and I do this show. If you're new to the show, Ryan and I do the show every Thursday night at 7. Pretty much every Thursday night, Ryan. It's rare that we miss. Even from cruise ships, we do it. So every Thursday night at 7, we do the show. We'd like for everybody to share this out with all your peeps to make sure we can grow this family a little bit more.
Last thing, Vince, I didn't even think about it. I meant to ask. So I know one of them that you did. But over the last couple weeks, how many shows did you get caught up on?
All right, so
House of the Dragon, I know that.
Well, I was already caught up on that.
Oh,
yeah, that's something that I was already caught up on. I watched it from when it was on. The only show that I'm trying to get caught up on right now is For All Mankind.
Good show, Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV. I started watching it when it first came out, got a couple episodes in, and I enjoyed it, but I kind of lost track of it. So I've been watching that. It's really, really good. But there's so many shows out there, Ryan. And
Apple knows how to make shows, though. Let me tell you what.
to be honest with you, we spend a lot of time during the holiday watching Christmas stuff. That's what we
There you
do.
go.
So
Time
I
to
got
get back
caught
to
up
Lost.
on Elf.
You got to get back to Lost.
I know.
I finished Game of Thrones. Not Game of Thrones. Stranger Things finale was last night.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, like, it's been a divisive season. Some of it, people listen. A little soapbox here. If you have a problem in a television show that you are not the writer, director, or producer of a character having a coming out as homosexual, if you have a problem with that, how about you just not watch any shows like ever again? Listen, a writer puts that in there because clearly that might be important to them. And if the creator of a show wants to do that, even if you disagree with it, you should at least say, even if you're not feeling it, you say, not my thing, but I'm not, it's their show, and I'm going to enjoy the things I'm going to enjoy about it. But what I hate these days is that if any character in any show
This is the
at
bonus
any
hour.
point is gay or trans, people immediately are like, this show's woke. And I'm like, guys, is life like walking around? Are there gay people? Are there trans people? Yes. Then why wouldn't there likely be one in a show about life? It's like, it would be like, why is that redhead here? Well, there's redheads tomorrow. Why is there a black person in my show? Well, you guys, you need to understand that the world's bigger than your little tiny circle. So even if it's
Wow.
not your thing, listen, I'm not one.
Ryan, you're going to lose some followers.
I will say one thing, Vince. Do I believe all the things that go along with a lot of this, with a lot of the like trans stuff? Do I believe like all in? Like I'm not walking in the parade. I don't think like there's some things I feel uncomfortable with sports related things. I'm not on board with. But as far as someone being in a show or having representation at work or in a show, or it's just part of life. You're going to meet people that are different than you. Doesn't mean you have to hate them. Doesn't mean you have to agree with them either. But you should not make it a reason why you cannot watch the show, and that the show that you've been talking about how much you love for seasons is now trash, and it's always been trash.
You can, though. You can do that. You can not
But
watch
it's
it.
dumb.
But you always have to announce your departure.
There are accounts that I follow, like, because I like theories about shows and things like that. Like, I love that. Like, people talking about, like, I think this is going to happen or whatever. That have been all, like, up this show's ass, no pun intended, in this situation, for many seasons. Loving it. And now, the show's ruined.
Well,
and I'm like, guys.
This goes right back, Ryan, to your resolution, which is we need more grace in this world.
Yeah, you don't have to agree.
You don't have to agree. And if you don't want to watch something, then don't. And if you want to, if you just want to live into a bubble of only things that you are comfortable with and what you grew up with, you can choose to do that. Everybody,
that's fine too.
That's fine too. Everybody can live their life the way they want to live it. The thing that always makes me laugh, actually, it doesn't bother me, it just makes me laugh, is how people get so angry and they need to vocalize, their displeasure about it in a public way. Because I got news for you. Nobody gives a damn about the way you think about it either.
No.
So it, but that's kind of wisdom of years, I guess.
But to go back to the original point, Vince, like,
yes,
I finished Stranger Things.
This is a great tangent, Ryan.
I finished Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Do I think it was the best season? No, I think it was probably like the third best season. Like it had moments, but it was very like it was all over the place. It was very Game of Thrones final season where like things are happening very like, oh, this person was here, now they're here, and we have to over explain the situation to get everyone caught up, not fleshing it out as much as you felt
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
But I will say, in my opinion, nailed the finale, which is not what all shows
N-
do.
yeah, not hard to do.
So
Not hard to
all
do.
and all shows have to do
Or
is
hard to do.
what a lot of shows piss people off with is they break the cardinal sin, which is really all you want is a clear wrap up and that your characters that you've been building all this time are respected. Doesn't mean
Yes.
they're alive, doesn't mean they're dead. It just means whatever their ending was, dead or alive or otherwise, that you respect all the work that you and a good example, Game of Thrones. My only problem is actually not with Brand the Broken. I thought it was dumb, but people are like, "Ah, it's so dumb." Brand the Broken. I'm like, well, that's just a writing choice. That is what it is. It's actually if you technically did follow the story of Bran on how like he's has the history of the whole world, it actually makes sense like a best
This is
leader
like a
possible
members
for all
only
those.
show.
But the only thing I was pissed about disrespecting disrespecting the audience and disrespecting the character is you had built Daenerys Targaryen as the breaker of the chain and the wheel, right? And she's not going to be the same. And despite her flaws, she always ends up doing what's right for her people. She even will sometimes about to overreact about something and pulls it back. But to just be like everyone telling her no, don't do it. No, don't. Everyone looking at her and she's like, I'm just going to burn everyone. And you're like, so the show was pointless. So we got to this point. The whole show was built up about breaking the wheel, and we're just going to do this. And then once she does that and pisses everyone off, then we just murder her. Like if you had done it where is that way, and then ended the show where she's ruling and it's an oppressive regime, like she's basically become her father. Cool. If she doesn't do that and doesn't burn everyone, and she is almost so close to winning, and then someone kills her before she even gets to the end, you're like, cool, she tried. But it was like a well, what were we doing for the last 6 years? Why were we building her up to be this thing, and she ends up doing the opposite? So that's what I mean about respecting the fans. And Stranger Things, which I know you've watched the A season, Vince. Stranger Things, at least by the end of the season, they gave you a solid for like last 30 minutes of the show, like a solid like 5 minutes per character on good solid like here's how it ended, here's where they're at. That's good. Put it in
Let's
its
bring
place.
yeah, let's bring this back to the Noles.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're the writer of this story, we didn't get we didn't get a good wrap up of Malik Benson.
Yeah.
We didn't get that wrap up. We
No.
didn't get a good wrap up of Lucas Simmons. We didn't get a good wrap up of countless amount of people that were characters that were important characters in this story. Let's start wrapping this up, coaches, recruiting. Let's get the guys in here and let's write a story and let's come to a conclusion that
Respect the
we can
fans.
all and respect the fans and come back and make this work. The choices you make as a writer, as a recruiter, as a whatever, we're going to respect those choices. But man, you got to come through. You got to come through. You're welcome on that professional tie-in, Ryan.
Yeah, it was a great wrap up. It reeled me back in. But I really enjoy good endings to a show. And for every show out there that's people have said is the worst ending of all time, most of the time I've been like, it was fine. It was fine. Like I usually don't hate. The only show I ever hated, by the way, Vince, a ending like actually hated an ending, and I was like, that was the worst final episode ever with Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld, and I'm like, they're all in jail in a court case, and we're just doing a going
Yeah,
back
when
and looking
you
at previous episodes.
Yeah, when you have a show, when you have shows that are as epic as that,
Hmm.
there is no way you're going to stick that landing. And
Yeah, well,
most shows are like that.
yeah,
But
but you save replay greatest hits shows for like the off weeks when like
no, I know,
you're
I know,
and they're like finale. We're gonna show you all the old episodes. That was the only one that ever pissed me off. It hurt me, Vince. It hurt me
I
greatly.
know, I know, I know. But we don't want to talk about hurt. We want to talk about positivity. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year to Captain John Black. Thank you, Captain John Black, for sponsoring our show for years now. We appreciate you, and hopefully, if you, any of our fans out there, any of our viewers out there, want to get some fishing in the next year, maybe that's your New Year's resolution: is you're going to go fishing more. You should go see our buddy Captain John Black in Panama City Beach. Or maybe your New Year's resolution is to drink more. If your New Year's resolution is
Drink
to drink
more.
more, drink more, yeah. You need to go over to the Palace, right?
Yeah.
Hang out with our buddies there. And we thank them for being a tailgate sponsor this season. And depending on what goes down this next season with booster lots, we may be spending more time over in the Palace lot. So thank you, the Palace Saloon.
And to end that off, to say goodbye to everyone for tonight. The only teams that scored 31 points or more in Alabama this season is Florida State and Indiana. Let's end on that. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. Have a happy new year, everyone. And Vince, as always,
Happy New Year. Send Chiefs all the damn time. Go Noles.
go Noles. Take care, everyone.